everyone, my name is Sarah and today we're going to learn about the history of cotton candy. Have you ever eaten cotton candy before? Great. It tastes amazing, right? If you like sugar, if you like things that are sweet, you will definitely like cotton candy. It's super bad for you, so you should not eat it often. But, once in a while, it's a nice treat. So, I never thought about where cotton candy came from. I always thought it was just kind of there. But, of course, everything has its history, everything has its start. So today we're going to learn all about that. All right, are you ready? Let's start. Cotton candy is a sweet treat made from spinning melted sugar to make it look like cotton. So here's what it looks like. I'm sure all of you have seen it before. Perhaps you've even eaten it before. So basically, cotton candy, it's a treat or I guess like a special occasion food. And you make it by melting sugar and then spinning a wand around like this so that it looks like cotton or yarn. So something perhaps that you would wear, but of course it's much tastier than actual cotton. Ingredients like artificial flavoring and food coloring are added to enhance the taste and appearance of the candy. Blue raspberry and pink vanilla are some of the most popular types of cotton candy. So if you look up a picture of cotton candy, typically you will come out with photos of these two flavors. This is pink vanilla, so it's pink, but it tastes like vanilla. I'm not really sure why. Vanilla is white, typically. But then over here, we have blue raspberry. So it's interesting. These flavors are so popular, but actually the flavor and the color don't match at all. But of course, in these situations, because artificial flavoring and food coloring are added, it's actually not necessary that the ingredients match the color of the cotton candy. The exact origin of cotton candy is unknown. Some claim it came from Italy during the 15th century, while others believe it came out elsewhere in Europe around the 19th century. So this is a pretty wide gap. Usually we know things a little bit more clearly, especially when it happened relatively recently. So some people, I guess, they think that cotton candy was invented in Italy in the 15th century, so about 600 years ago. But other people think that it came from somewhere else in Europe in the 19th century, so only like 200 years ago. So that's a pretty wide gap, wouldn't you say? So I guess we can never be sure. Maybe these people who lived in the 1400s, maybe they were enjoying cotton candy. We can never know. We can't go back in time and ask them, yet anyway. As for the modern day cotton candy that is spun using a machine, dentist William Morrison and confectioner John C. Wharton invented the product in 1897. So, have you ever seen cotton candy getting made before? Right, so usually you have this big machine and it melts the sugar and puts it around the edges so that when you swipe a wand around like this, you end up with a big fluffy ball of cotton candy. So this machine was actually invented by these two men, William Morrison and John C. Wharton, in 1897. I think it's actually really ironic and funny that one of the inventors of the cotton candy machine, which is literally just sugar, pure sugar, no nutritional content whatsoever, it was actually invented by a dentist. So maybe this was a good way for him to make money. Because first he can sell the cotton candy to the people, then they eat the cotton candy, and then they get cavities in their teeth, and then they need to go to the dentist. So, I don't know. I'm not saying this is what happened, but that's my theory. They introduced the candy at the Louisiana Purchase Exposition as fairy floss in 1904. It was a great success, selling a total of 68,655 boxes. So in the United States, we have a state called Louisiana, and it actually used to belong to France. So the United States bought this area, as well as some other states that are currently part of Migu, or the United States, from France. It was definitely way before this time, but I suppose that there was some kind of exposition or 전람회 that was held in memorial of the Louisiana Purchase in the year 1904. And so at this exposition, the dentist and the confectioner, which means a candy maker, they presented their invention of cotton candy right here at the exposition in 1904. And it was an amazing success. They sold an absolute ton of cotton candy. So I guess a lot of people liked it. I mean, the first time that you sell something, if you sell 70,000 of it, that's usually a pretty good sign. In 1921, dentist Joseph Lascaux referred to the spun candy as cotton candy, ultimately replacing the name fairy floss. However, the original name remains intact in Australia. So we just said that the confectioner and the dentist, they introduced their new product, the candy, here in 1904, but they called it fairy floss back then. So I don't actually know anyone who calls cotton candy fairy floss today. So there's gotta be a reason for that, right? And that reason is right here. The dentist, Joseph Lascaux, referred to the spun candy as cotton candy because it looked like cotton. And so because of that, almost everywhere in the world started calling it cotton candy, but then it's just Australia that continues to call it fairy floss. So I'm very curious as to why that is. Maybe because it's so far away on an island all the way across the sea. It's really difficult to transmit that sort of information over time. Also, the Australian dialect of English it's very interesting and very unique in terms of the various dialects of English. So in summary, after 1921, the candy started being called cotton candy. And only in Australia do they still call it fairy floss. And I'm actually surprised. This guy, he was actually a dentist too. So, I don't know, maybe my theory isn't so crazy. Why are so many dentists selling spun sugar cotton candy? It doesn't make any sense. I think they were in it for the money. That's my theory anyway. Alright, well, that is all for today's article. I hope that you all enjoyed this video, and if you did, make sure to give us a like, a subscribe, and a thumbs up. Alright, well, I hope that all of you have a very sweet day, and I will see you all again next week. Alright, bye!